Good morning. Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. What we always love to do as you are making it into the room is to say hello to you. Just making sure my microphone was on. So if you just pop into the room, do us a huge favor and say hello. Where you're joining us from, one thing that you're excited about that you feel life and momentum on. We're going to be talking about offers for your online coaching practice today. And you guys have about a week left to get into the program because we reopened Lindsay's program, Jumpstart Your Online Coaching Practice. First time since June. We'll close the doors on that on the 31st. So about a week left. But let me say hello to a few people who are popping in. First, I'm going to say hello to Lindsay. I'm going to bring her in. Make sure that my sound's not too. Hey, Lindsay, how are you?
Hey, everybody. How are you guys doing on this Mentor Monday?
So you're moving today or something? You got a lot of moving going on over there?
Yes, in the middle of moving. So forgive me, my background is not my normal background. This is my temporary office. But yeah, moving cross country and getting married. Crazy.
What?
I know. Madness.
I can still tell that you're in the Midwest right now because you've got that Midwestern background going on right there. The colors and the door and all of that stuff.
It's snowing today for the first day of the season, which is crazy. So a little bit of madness. Moving, snowing.
You should have done your video from outside then. We could have seen the snow.
I would have freeze to death.
We got rain for like 30 minutes a couple of days ago, which we never get. So, hey, let me say hello to some people who are popping in. Diane joining us from South Carolina. There's Christopher joining us from Chandler, Arizona. Robert's joining us from Dallas. Says good morning. And people just saying hello to each other. There's Sassy who's joining us from South Carolina as well. Man, South Carolina's in the house, and so is Dallas. There's George who's from Dallas as well. Irina from New York joined Jumpstart today. So excited. Way to go, Irina. That's awesome. And let's see, who else do we need to say hello to? Christopher says, congrats, Lindsay, on the upcoming getting married.
Thank you.
Jessica says, I made it, so you can start now. LOL. Awesome. Let me see who else. I see Believe is in the room from South Africa.
Right.
Still more congratulations coming in for Lindsay.
Thanks, you guys and gals.
I see Manzi from Kenya. Very cool. Awesome. So as you guys are making it in the room, just a huge favor, like and share this or comment. For one, it tells us that you're here and we love to just connect with you, and also to ask your specific questions. Ask your specific questions. Throw them in the comments. We'll get to them during this time. But I don't want to delay anymore. Lindsay, talk to us about offers. Tell us how this is different. Some people probably who are listening like, I don't even know what an offer is, but I'm excited to be here. So define what we mean by offers and how we actually utilize that, because I think that there's 4 things that you were going to really share with us today about how to get that in front of your ideal client. So what is an offer for the complete novices who are out here?
Yeah, so I think a lot of folks think about coaching from the counseling maybe perspective of like going to an office, having a session, and you don't really think about packages. You kind of maybe think about like an ongoing process. Well, in the online business world, you really kind of have to package yourself and package your program into really an offer. Something that you're finding a solution for your ideal clients that's in really a prescribed amount of time that has very specific deliverables. So if you think about it, if you have ever clicked on a Facebook ad, you've probably gone to a landing page that had very clear deliverables on it. Maybe it was a course and it had all the modules written out, and you had your bonuses written out, and it had a free Facebook group that you could join and that kind of thing. So it's very, very important when you're transitioning to this idea of maybe doing less one-on-one coaching, maybe less in-person coaching, one-on-one, into more of a either group coaching setting, online course type of setting, or even just an online workshop setting, those type of things. Those are all different types of offers. there are different types of packages that you're allowing people to kind of come in and work with you in a very set structure. So when you're thinking about creating things online, I'm sure you guys have done this a lot of times, maybe whether consciously or unconsciously, but looked and kind of walked through other people's packages and other people's programs and their offers and figured out that it was very enticing to want to become a part of that because it was very clear. You knew kind of some of the results, you had read some testimonials, and there's really a very basic formula for creating simple offers that convert. And so people ask us all the time, how do we get our first clients? How do I turn a prospect, somebody that I've been talking to, into an actual client? Well, part of that is creating an irresistible offer. So that's kind of what we wanted to go over with you guys today. I know Paul's kind of been working through this idea of creating offers, and I just wanted to tack on to that, to the fact that online offers are different a lot of times than an in-person, maybe ongoing coaching relationship. Usually online offers are a little bit more, they're typically shorter term maybe, or they're just more defined as far as, how the time frame and things like that. So go ahead.
Let me interrupt you for a second, because I know everybody, here's a question that I get all the time for these aspiring coaches, and I want you to tell me what the flaw is in this. I have coaches all the time who say, what should I offer for a package? It's because they'll see coaching packages. In their mind, they're thinking, and what they'll say, what's fair for a coaching package? Should it be, I was thinking 4 sessions for $400. What's the flaw in that? Because this is always when coaches think of packages, they're always thinking X amount of sessions for X amount of dollars. What's the flaw that is in that you need to help people get clarity on?
When you're thinking about creating an offer or program or package, you have to think about the buying behavior of your ideal client. Most people are not going to a coach and saying, I need a certain number of sessions. They don't think about coaching like that. Most people think about coaching in the form of a structured program that's going to get them to a real result. Like there's a girl that I know, and she's got, it's a 500K sales system. And actually what it is a group coaching program that's 6 weeks long. And the goal of that is to get you into this mindset and to get you some new skills to help you understand that you can create $500,000 a year in income. You can. You just need a framework. And so maybe the program is titled or named something different, but the mechanism to get to the goal is a group coaching program or is a one-on-one coaching program. So you've really got to change the way you're thinking about trading hours for dollars or trading sessions for dollars into something that is packaged in a way that is going to get people to a specific result. And you guys that have listened to me speak on this, I'm always harping on this idea that you have to be a results-focused coach. Mm-hmm. You have to help people get into this understanding and idea of the future life that they want. And when they can see and picture themselves in the life that they want, who doesn't want to make $500,000 a year? Or even $100,000 a year would change a lot for a lot of people. I have a 0 to 1K program, $1,000 a month, an extra $1,000 a month. What would that do for your business? Or $1,000 a day. What would that do for your business? So, or your life, or your family, or whatever. So, and the mechanism to get to $1,000 a day is a group coaching program. So you've got to change the way, and I see this all the time, coaches that are just coming out of your certification, and everyone is, I don't know where everyone gets this idea of like, you've got to kind of trade hours for dollars. I know I had it as soon as I came out of my coaching certification program too. And so I think that's just kind of an outdated way of thinking. Maybe that was true. I don't honestly know that that was ever really true. Maybe when I signed up for a counselor, maybe, mm-hmm. or maybe some inner healing type sessions or whatever. But when you're thinking about a coaching program, I've never really seen a highly successful coaching program packaged that way, ever, that I can think of. And also, it's an insanely hard thing to sell. When I was very first starting, I was never results focused. I was like thinking this whole, okay, I got to get 10 clients doing 10 sessions a week in order to make $100,000 a year, or whatever it was that I had my goal worked out at that time. And it was insanely hard because I didn't have any clear results. I didn't have a reason why they should really work with me other than get breakthrough or whatever. That's not something that people are going to buy. It's not a sellable item that's going to push people off the fence to actually purchase something. What people purchase are results. They purchase their future self, the mechanism to get their future self to results. And even now, I'm switching a lot of my stuff from these small, tiny offers of like $500 packages or whatever. Now our minimum package is $3,500 a month. Because in order to really help someone get to their next goal, it is a much more all-encompassing process than just a couple of hours here and there. Yep. If you're really, really, truly trying to make massive change in your life, trying to create structures and systems that are actually going to move the needle for you, and you're not going to be in this exact same place next year, it's a lot more hand-holding than that. Yep. It's a lot bigger investment. And people are willing to make a large investment when they can see the result. I'm willing. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on masterminds, learning new skills, learning new tools, on a group coaching program that was a year long that was crazy expensive. But you know what? I got tools and solutions that I never would have gotten access to before that. And I purchased, what made me purchase that was seeing results after testimonial, after case study, after constantly being inundated with these other people who were in my level of, or I was aspiring to be in their level of success, just every single day, just being inundated with this idea of having the ability to get there. And you guys can absolutely do this. It is not rocket science. It really isn't. It's way more about consistency and creating a bad A offer that's irresistible.
Yeah.
It's easier than you think.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what are the 4 things that you're going to walk us through today? I think that really, it's the same things that I actually preach to our coaches all the time. We've got to get out of this generic, fluffy, non-specific, ambiguous, no one knows what we do. And here's the thing, no one's ever going to know what you do. No one's going to understand until they actually start working with you and experience coaching. And so since they don't know what it is, you can't sell it. You can't really make it tangible unless you talk about what they're getting. How do you, the result, how is their life going to be different? What is it that they want? And you can talk about the pain points and you can talk about what they want, but anything that's a package, if you guys don't have this summed up yet, anything that's called a package, just like Lindsay said, people don't buy hourly services and they don't understand what buying 4 sessions or 8 sessions or 12 sessions or a package of that even means. They don't even know what they're getting. So people don't know what they're getting. They're not going to buy it, right? So they're buying a result. They're buying something that addresses a certain barrier or something that they really want. And the more that you can specify that, the more that you can bring clarity to what that is, the easier it is for someone to actually do business with you. And the coaches who are non-specific and ambiguous have a fraction of the clients as the people who are really specific on those kinds of things. So Lindsay, talk to us about offers and what does it look like to create an offer that helps you get your ideal client?
Well, the first thing that you mentioned as a part of what you were just saying, the most important piece is finding the problem. So aligning with your ideal client and helping them solve a problem. And so the fastest and easiest way to do that is to get online and start doing some market research and getting in different Facebook groups with people who you think might be your ideal clients and figuring out what their problems are and their pain points are. And if you think about like the Facebook ads that you've clicked on or the Google ads maybe that you've clicked on, if you've gone and started to look for a solution for something, say you're looking for an interior design solution and you need to hire an interior designer for your new house, then the first thing you're going to do is look for finding an interior designer in my area. And then the interior designers are packaging their programs like, here's a done for you solution to your problem of having no idea how to design your house, not having the time, and needing to do this on a budget, for example. So, and then they package their services in a way that's tangible for somebody to go out and actually purchase a done for you solution. So with coaching, it's more of a done with you solution, which is good. So you need to know if your ideal clients are looking for a done with you solution. You've got to make sure they're not just looking for a done for you solution, or they're not just looking for just maybe some answers to some questions, but they're actually looking for accountability. They're looking for somebody to kind of hold their hand. They're looking for someone to help them remove their blocks. They're kind of aware of the fact that they've tried and are not getting fruit in their life, or not getting progress in their mental thinking, and they're in this place where they're ready to get some help. And they may be on the cusp of knowing that they're ready to get some help, but when they see a solution in front of their face, that pushes them over the edge. And when you can package your offer in a really good way that shows them themselves in a position of their future self having the solution that they're looking for, it's generally a no-brainer for people. They'll find the money, they'll find the time, they'll do whatever it takes in order to get that solution if they're that motivated. And so it's good for us to find ideal clients that are motivated. And the best place to do that is to start looking in groups and things on Facebook, etc., for people who are connected based around this problem that they're having. Maybe for me, it's like, people who want to learn online business. And so I get into different groups where people are building funnels, they're using different softwares, they're coaches and they don't know how to do online business, they're virtual assistants and they need to get a practice up and running. So testing, but they all need the same solution. So you're looking for a group of folks who need the solution you're offering. For example, say you're a health coach or you're a weight loss coach and you're helping people lose weight. Maybe you get into keto groups, or maybe you get in weight loss groups. There's a million of them online where you can find people that are looking for this problem. They're looking for a solution to this problem. And then you can start reading, okay, this is what they've struggled with. And you can write down all of these things and you can use those later in your copy of how you're writing out the solution to your offer, or the solution to their problem becomes your offer. How you get them from their problem to their solution. And that's awesome. Is you. That's you, the coaching journey.
That is awesome. I see a question. I don't know if this is, if we can answer this question and if it's relevant to what you're saying. Robert says, how do you craft an offer without using those scary words like coaching and accountability?
First of all, Robert, I would say this to you. One, why do you think those are scary words? They're not. Most people are, if they're solution aware and they want a solution and they're motivated, those are like trigger good words for them. Having somebody walk through them with, people want accountability. They want someone to walk through this process with them. They want to have someone to emotionally process with. They want to have people that are on the same page if they're looking for a group coaching solution. They want to network. They want to be in a support group of other people. And so I think maybe that's a personal block that we've got to work through with you on why you think that people don't want to do that. Because any high-performing person understands, anybody that's ever played a sport, anybody that's ever been on a team of any kind understands the value of a coach. And I think our culture has made it, I think maybe a few years ago, it was like coaching was kind of weird. Now that's out the window. People are very willing to invest in coaching. They're very willing to invest in a solution to their offer. What person do you know that hasn't spent thousands of dollars over the course of their life on a coach, on a solution to their problem? That is just so much more well accepted now, or on their personal growth, on their mindset. Anybody who's a high performer or is leaning towards this idea of becoming a high performer understands that we don't have all the answers. You don't have all the tools. You don't have a clear strategy. You don't have the framework, and you need help. And so if you can package that help into a very clear program solution for them, they love the idea of accountability. Everybody's used to having a Facebook group where you can go in and ask questions and those kind of things. It's not unusual. It's not a bad word. And if that is a bad word or unusual for someone, they're probably not a good fit for your program in the first place, really.
Yeah. I've always thought, and one of the things that I always teach our students in our Jumpstart program this word accountability, and a lot of people usually have like a negative experience with accountability because of how it's done.
Yeah.
And I've always broken down accountability as account of your ability. We're calling out the greatness in people. That's what we're holding people holding people accountable, is the greatness, what they want in their life. And I think a lot of times accountability, most people have a negative experience with it because the only time they hear it is when they're in trouble, or you've got to check in, you've got to use the time clock so that you are accountable for your time. And it's because they think that people are going to be lazy, or they're expecting, they're expecting poor performance, or that someone has bad character. Now, I would say, don't brand yourself as an accountability coach, because that still doesn't make any sense to people. What we want to do is that we want to have branding and messaging that helps us focus on a result. And so a lot of times you'll see coaches and they'll just kind of go with a certain title for themselves, which if that's what you're trying to draw people to, that's never going to be very effective. But if accountability is part of the offer, it's kind of like, even if you looked on our website and you look at what does Jumpstart include? Not only does it include the how to, but it also includes the support so that you're not doing this by yourself. That's one of the big selling points. And who are we selling that to? We're selling that to coaches or aspiring coaches. We really are. We're packaging accountability, not in a way that it's like, hey, no one's going to yell at you, but you need to know that you don't have to do this thing alone. And no questions to beginner and no questions to advanced, those kinds of things. So any of that supportive language, because people know one of the big reasons why people don't try to do something new is that they're tired of failing. They know how many times they've started something, and people don't want to be embarrassed to fail. So them knowing that they're going to actually not only have a structure, but they're going to have someone who believes in the greatness in them and calls that out, and they're going to show up every week or whenever, is going to be is going to be part of the selling point in the middle of those things. So,
well, and to your point about people, they have a lot of questions along the way, especially if you're trying something new. It's very intimidating if you don't know and you think you're going to get halfway through this process and never finish it, because that's the story of your life before. To not have somebody who's done it before, to not have a place to ask questions, to not have a place to come and get support and feedback, and to test new things and try new things. And that's one of the great things that I love about the online Jumpstart program, is every single week people are coming back and they're trying new things, and then they have another set of problems. As you start going through a new skill or developing, a process, a new thinking pattern, for example, that removes blocks, and a new thought structure and a new declaration structure over your life, it's difficult. It's hard. If it was easy, we would all do it and we'd all be, multi-millionaires, and we'd never have any problems, and our relationships would be amazing and everything would be great. But that's not real life. Real life is, we all have struggles, and then once you get to another level of success or another level of achievement, you have a whole other set of struggles. Yep. And so there's that famous quote, I think it's like, every level of leadership is going to require another level of you. And that is absolutely true.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. We've got a few more points that Lindsay's going to cover. I want to, especially for the Instagram people, because I think Instagram only gives us about a half an hour. Let me pay the bills really quick. I'm going to hide Lindsay. She's going to come back and talk for a few more points about this specifically on how do you actually design your offer. So we're hiding Lindsay for a second. For those of you who have not gotten trained and certified as a coach, no, we are actually live. Why is that on the screen? Get off the screen. There we go. So for those of you who have not gotten trained and certified as a coach yet, we've got an amazing opportunity for you. For one, we're going to throw Life Coach Certification, the whole Life Coach Certification course, inside of Lindsay's program. Lindsay works with people all over the world. She has for years. She is a serial entrepreneur, not cereal that you eat. She has started numerous businesses and help people become really successful and build their businesses. She's an online business strategist on top of being a coach. So she understands both sides of these things. The Jumpstart Your Online Coaching Practice allows you to get trained and certified as a coach, and to go through Lindsay's program, which the curriculum alone in this program, Lindsay charges at least $5,000 for. For our students, she's doing it for $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. What do you get in that? There's about 50 videos right now that are how-to training videos that bring you the A to Z business development roadmap on how to put your online coaching practice together. Everything from how do you discover your target market, your niche, how do you craft an offer, how do you write this kind of language, how do you use the different softwares that are out there. If you don't understand anything about social media or how to build a website or how to create an email list, she's going to show you how to do free advertising and marketing on there. She's going to show you how to optimize your website so that it can be found by search engines. She's going to show you all kinds of sales what I would say is bonus offers that she has on there on how to sell your product, how to write copy that makes your product fly off of the shelf. She's been doing this for years, and she's doing it now with our students, and they're crushing it. And it's very doable. Like Lindsay will tell you that you can actually start making money in about a week, in about 10 days. There are coaches that I saw even commenting earlier that have already gotten clients in the last few weeks just starting our program. I want you to know that this is in the realm of possibility. And this is the new age of business where people are much more comfortable with doing virtual things. And when you come, and what I'd say in general is that building a coaching practice isn't rocket science anyway. Building an online coaching practice doesn't have to be either. And from starting from zero to actually making money, because there's not a whole lot of overhead, because there's a lot of free software. As a matter of fact, if you guys are sitting around with one of these in your hand or in your lap right now, or watching me on this is your money maker right now. That's not going to add on to a bunch of bills or anything else. You're already pretty much paying for all the services probably right now. If you've got internet, if you've got a computer, a tablet, a camera, or a phone, you already have all of the makings of building a six-figure business. You just need the steps to get there, and you probably need a kick in the pants to get started if you haven't already gotten started. Plus, you need the support. And so inside of this program, Lindsay spends time with her students every Wednesday. There's a live group coaching call that Lindsay spends time with her students. Anything that you have questions about, that you need feedback on, where you're stuck, anything that's unclear, you get to ask those questions during that time. You get feedback on anything that you're working on during the week with the online community. You can role play with other students. Want you to know that you're not going to do this thing alone. Yeah, it's not rocket science. We know that. But some of you need the steps and you need the support. We've thought of all of these things because we put it together. Both Lindsay and I are multi-six-figure coaches. If you wonder about even our business, we were the pioneers in online education when everybody else is fumbling over and trying to rent hotel facilities and everything else and paying for all of these extra fees. And it was costing students thousands of dollars to get trained and certified. We took the first step of pioneering an online education, and we are the largest life coach training program. Why? Because we understand online business, and more importantly, we understand what you need to be really successful. And so again, it's $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. For those of you who are worried about that, you don't have to be worried. You're already spending it. If you guys are buying coffee from Starbucks every day, that's $3.25 a day. That's what you're already spending. Of course, most of you are not launching six-figure businesses with that cup of coffee, unfortunately. But that's the choice. Do what you're doing. You're already spending the money. You've already made that investment somewhere. We're asking you to make it now, because if you do it now, here in October, then you can have a business that is up and running and profitable in the first month by January. Hopefully I did a pretty decent job on it that time.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, when I'm live, I'm like, and caffeinated up, I'm like, blah, 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 and sometimes I trip over my words, but that's what happens with live, you know?
Yes. So it's good. Yeah. And you guys, I've done various coaching programs. Paul and I both spent a fortune on our training and on our certification program and learned nothing about online business or how to grow a business, really, for that matter at all. And so that's why we committed to making this affordable for y'all, so that you can come in and actually get accountability and get real tools. We don't believe in fluff. We are not here to waste anyone's time or our own. And every single week too, the other thing is, if you guys have problems or you have specific concerns, every week I do a training now where we will go over whatever someone is struggling with. And so you can absolutely get on the top of the queue to learn something specific, or we can go through a specific software you're using. I answer questions about that every single week, about different softwares and how do things work together and how do they communicate and how to build a website. And someone, Robert, I think, was asking about writing copy for your website. I have literally a template of every single thing that you need in there. The program has an entire master to-do list, master checklist that you can work through in your 90 days if you're creating like a full program. And then we have kind of some quick jumpstart stuff if you want to create a quick online workshop and get some cash injections, we call them, to help you do lead generation and help you really either do a paid or a free workshop in which you're selling your larger coaching program, and how to package that, how to talk about it, how to shoot videos. We talk about everything that you can think of for your website. Last week, I think one was working on, she's amazing, she's working on creating new video content and what needs to go into that and what do you need to tell your videographer and the things that you need when you're doing simple things like getting a video shoot done for your website or for ad, that you can put on Facebook or social media or whatever. So it's my goal to give you guys really practical stuff that's going to move the needle for you, and not a bunch of fluff that sounds very good in theory, but isn't something that we've actually used in practice. So
yeah. I see a question that was asked when you join Lindsay's program, and there's a link inside the description. If you're already a Life Coach Training Institute student, it's just going to, as soon as you enroll in her program, it's just going to show up on your student dashboard next to any program that you were previously enrolled in. I know some of you graduated previously and you never got the business development help. So whenever you add on a program, it always shows up in your student dashboard in the exact same location. So you just have to click that link and then get enrolled. Hey, do us a huge favor, you guys who are watching, like this and share this. It tells Facebook and YouTube that we're doing a good job. We just want to make sure that whenever we go live, because again, we don't do fluffy kinds of stuff on here. We want to make sure that it shows up in the feed for other people who this could really benefit. Lindsay, take us through the rest of the steps on creating an offer.
Yeah, so you also want to make sure that you're asking the right questions to your potential clients. And those things have to do with, what is their budget for getting started in this program? What does their time commitment look like? How willing are they to make decisions about their future now? And also the most important sales question that I always ask at the end of, once I get to know someone and I'm like asking through, this process is when are you wanting to do this? Is it something that you're going to put off for another year and let your life kind of pass you by and hope that maybe you kind of get some results, or is it something that you're ready to do now? Because you're looking for folks who are ready to make that decision now. If you get to a place where you have to convince somebody all the time, it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be stressful. It's going to be a lot more work. It's going to be a lot more emotionally taxing on you. And you're going to be running the risk that someone's just going to pop out of the program at any time. And so, and they won't get results. They're not going to be invested in the process. And so I'm always encouraging our students to look for clients that are on that edge of making the decision that they're ready to go.
Yep.
And that can be reflected in all of your languaging. It can be reflected in how you go live. It can be reflected in everything that it is that you're doing, that you're creating the offer that's like very clear. Like I used to, when I was back in the health and fitness industry years and years and years ago, we would have like a reset challenge that was like 5 days. Most people lose 8 to 10 pounds, or we would have a 30-day challenge that was like a 30-day restart that we would do like every quarter. And the goal of it was to like drop 15 pounds or whatever. And in the end of that, we would say, this is the 30-day reset to drop 15 pounds, or a reset to drop 15 pounds in 30 days. So they have like a really clear, tangible goal. And so now when I'm creating my program, it's more focused on income or more focused on lead generation and things like that. So our biggest selling program is a 0 to 1K per day program. That's very clear. You're setting a goal of making $1,000 a day. And if it takes you 3 months or it takes you 6 months, most of our students are in the program for a year. But if it takes you a year to make $1,000 a day, is it worth it? Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
So get really clear about the questions to ask and to make sure that they're actually in a position to make this decision. And then when to know if a client is a good fit for you was another thing that we were going to talk about. And that does have that leads in from this messaging perspective of if the person is super high maintenance, for example, and their personality type is just maybe they need too much handholding, or maybe you can't seem to get a word in edgewise or whatever, those type of clients are exhausting. And so you're really looking for people that give you energy and that you can give energy to, and they're actually going to take the things that you're teaching them and the things that you guys are working through, and they're actually going to implement them. You don't want to work with folks who have been in the same place for 20 years. They don't really have a super deep desire to change. They've already hired 37 coaches and they want to blame everybody else for not getting results and things like that. You're looking for people that are ready to take personal responsibility, who are ready and willing for accountability, who are hungry for change, who are willing to make an investment to make that change, who love the idea of community and getting in relationship with other people that they can be accountable to, and who are just positive, generally, I would suggest, and are willing to communicate about the struggles and not just going to suppress things and blame and whatever, but actually are willing to get to this place of like communicating and taking a good look at why are we not getting the results? Why is my life not having the fruit that I want? And being willing to make some different choices.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What else? I want to just see really quickly if there's any questions that we might have missed.
Hey, Bill, the Wednesday Jumpstart calls provide great insights into real program development. Yep. Bill knows. He's there every week, crushing it with us and just really getting clear. And he's working on different workshops and coming back and getting feedback and trying things out. And maybe they work and maybe they don't. And we're working with him on how to help build relationships in the community and things like that, to share more in his workshop and how to monetize some of these relationships and opportunities that are coming to him so that he's actually packaging his expertise in a way that can be sold. He does a lot of speaking now, and so we're trying to help kind of package some of his programs so that when he goes and speaks, he can actually give people an opportunity to work with him in his group coaching programs, come to his workshops and things like that. So,
that's awesome. See this. Yeah. What are your thoughts around a beginner who is building their audience, starting out with offering groups? What is the strategy?
Okay, so if you're offering, I'm assuming you're talking about group coaching programs. As far as the lead generation, my strategy is always generally the same, and that is driving everyone into one place. Whether it's, for sure, it should be your email list. And I like to drive folks into our free Facebook group. And that way, anytime someone comes into my network or my ecosystem, or I meet them or whatever, there's one place that they can go to where I'm going to be going live, where I'm going to be giving consistent information to value, and where I require to get their email address. They're required to basically sign the terms and conditions of how we communicate. And getting their email address is putting them on our list, which is basically the highest and easiest way to keep in touch with people. And still one of the highest forms of conversion is through email marketing. And so I drive everybody into one place. Anytime I meet a lead, anytime I'm doing a podcast, anytime I'm doing a live webinar, anytime I'm doing a speaking engagement or just meeting people in person, I always tell them, hey, here's my free Facebook group. This is where the party's at. This is where you're going to get me the most, where I'm going to be the most visible, where people are the most active, where I will answer questions and all of that kind of stuff. And then as people are in my free Facebook group, then we offer them the opportunity to join the paid programs where they can take that next step in relationship, whether it's through a course or whether it's through a group coaching program, whether it's through a workshop or whatever it is that I'm offering at that time. Our highest and best converting group is really our Facebook group. And that's because we filter them. We make sure that the people coming into the Facebook group are members of our ideal client audience, or people who are good referral partners, or those kinds of things where we're able to kind of determine the relationship, the quality of the relationship.
That's cool. What other points do we have that we haven't covered? We had 4. I don't know how, I didn't keep up with them though.
The outline, like a protocol. And so when you guys are thinking about creating and crafting an offer, if you think about this idea of having, for example, clicked on an ad on Facebook, I'm sure we all have, and we've all seen a landing page with a very clear offer. Mm-hmm. But maybe it was a group coaching program, or maybe it was a course, or maybe it was a software, but the formula is really the same. You have some very basic skills and some very basic tools that you need that are outlined in a structure. You have some bonuses, which may be Facebook groups, or usually it's another way to be in contact or communication with you. And then maybe you have software or whatever it is that's being added as the bonus. And then people are sharing testimonials. They're sharing testimonials, they're sharing case studies, they're sharing results, they're sharing frequently asked questions. There's some really basic things that you need to be clear about as you're making your offer, and you can kind of just go down the list. Say, here's the details of the offer, here's the pain points that people are suffering with, here's the solution, and here's how the solution is laid out in a time limit, in a clear organizational limit. Are we meeting once every week? Mm-hmm. Are we meeting twice a week? The pricing, this is what the pricing is going to cost for a 6-week program. These are the type of results that people are getting, and here are some frequently asked questions. Some pretty basic messaging, and if you can get those, and you can really, I know I've said this on our calls a bunch of times before, but if you can get to clarity on the problem that people are struggling with, if you can describe that problem as good or better as they can, they will automatically assume that you have the solution. That's a psychological principle. And so knowing and understanding and being able to describe the problem is a very high value even in itself when it comes to messaging. I think Robert was asking some questions about what do you put in there. That's a pretty clear structure. Describing the problem, offering the solution, getting clarity on what the solution looks like as far as time commitment, weekly calls, pricing, asking them what is it going to cost if they don't do it, and then having your bonuses or whatever, and then having some frequently asked questions is a really, really, really good place to start.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. All right. Let me see if anybody else had any other little question that was on there. I don't see any right off the top there. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, let me pay the bills really quickly one more time, and then I'll bring Lindsay back with just a closing thought. So for those of you, again, if you missed this, don't miss it. We've only opened up this program. We haven't opened it up since June. Lindsay's program is normally about $5,000 without getting her live. You're going to get access to all of Lindsay's material. This is the same stuff that she is helping people all over the country that her company does with other people. That she charges $5,000. You're going to get it for $97 a month. This is your ticket to building a 6-figure business using the technology that you already have in your house and you already own. Most cases, people aren't having to buy anything new. Instead of just scrolling for days like this, instead of just scrolling for days on your phone and killing time, if you had that 15 minutes a day, hour a day that you're just killing on your phone, you could be killing it in life instead. Lindsay shows you how to do that using technology, most cases that you already own. There's about 50 videos on there that is right now. I know right there it says 30 plus. There's actually about 50 videos that show you everything that you need. How do you discover who is your target market? How would you find them? How would you and more even on this information of how do you develop an offer? How do you create a signature program? How do you sell? How do you find your ideal clients online? How do you build a website? How do you optimize your website for search engines to be able to find you? About anything that you can imagine, social media platforms, building email lists, all of that stuff, all the cool things that you've heard about funnels and everything else. Here's the cool thing about it with Lindsay. This is for people who are at all levels. So if you are a beginner and it's like these words are even intimidating, they don't have to be because the steps are there. Lindsay actually shows you how to do it. She actually goes behind the scenes and shows you how to use the technology and put things together. Again, this is for people who have never done this before, but also people who have tried online business and you have not been successful. This is your ticket. It's $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. You can cancel anytime after that, but a lot of people love the support, again, because it's extraordinarily reasonable. People don't get to hire people like Lindsay with a program like this for less than thousands of dollars a month. It's something that Lindsay's doing, partnering with us to make it available. So in addition to the how-to videos that are already, you'd have access if you enrolled right now. There's a link inside the description. If you enrolled right now, you'd have access to all of those videos right now. You get to join Lindsay on Wednesdays for a live call. It's an hour every week where she does additional training, and she also helps people get unstuck who are stuck or who have need additional handholding or questions or whatever. You have access to Lindsay through that. You also have access to an online community where you can get feedback on anything that you're working on. You can also connect with other students, share what you're working on, and role play with other aspiring coaches. Again, this is all $97 a month. It's the cost of a cup of coffee. $3.25 a day gets you started in building a 6-figure business. For those of you who thought 2020 was going to be the amazing year where you finally did something different, and then you didn't, because this was an extraordinary year for online business. Lindsay will tell you, we've had more success. Our Business and Life Coach Training Institute is up 30% for the year. We've actually helped people, more coaches this year than we ever have. We're actually probably going to easily hit the 1,000 coach mark this year alone. We're already the largest life coach training program in North America. Most schools are doing about 30 coaches a year. That's what most schools are doing. Of course, they're not going to do that this year because they're doing in-person stuff. And if they didn't grab a hold of their technology, I'd say that probably most other schools are kind of sucking wind on things. Unfortunately, we're ahead of the game. And I'm not afraid, and Lindsay's not afraid of disturbances that happen in the world, because what that means is that there's a business opportunity. That means that there's a problem to be solved right now that no one else could solve. And you know what? If you're the person who's living and breathing and have the solution, then you're the person who gets to be able to do it. We have students who have made $30,000 in a month this year, not $30,000 in a year, $30,000 in a month this year. This is an extraordinary time and an extraordinary opportunity. And you haven't missed out on it. January it's really close, but it's about the number 2 month out of the year. Oddly enough, September is the biggest month for coaching during the year, but January is like the no-brainer, easiest time to sign up people because everybody's thinking about the new year. And everybody wants a different year than 2020 was. And you've never seen a time more than ever was with a gentleman this past week who just made a major career change. Not only did he move to a different area of the country, he was like, I'm making a career change. The guy just increased his income by about 25%, making that career change with no background in what he was doing, but just made the career change in the past week. This is the normal story for so many people right now that are leaving places, starting afresh. You know, I live in California. Yes, it's true. California has been a population loser for years because people are going to other places. Why? They're making, even for people in their 40s. I turned 46 this past weekend. I know I don't look it. I'm not planning on looking on it. No gray hair here. But even in my 40s, I've made lots of big changes, started companies, everything else. And so this is the opportunity. It's an opportunity right now in January where people want something different. They're willing to put in the work and they're willing to make the investment. And this is a perfect time for you to start your business because the whole world's thought about their life in a completely different way and are not willing to go back to what life was before. Hopefully you're not either. We don't want normal again because, and I'd say we want normal in the sense that I want to go into a restaurant and eat without a mask on. That was awesome. Went in, did that last night. That was incredible. You have to wear a mask in there, but as soon as you sit down to get your food, Lindsay, you're safe. I don't know what happens, but you're only unsafe when you're standing up, walking around in the restaurant, wearing your mask. But you can take it off as soon as you sit down and you can eat and you're safe. I don't know how that works, but that was amazing. So we want normalcy in that standpoint, but we do not want to go back to a life that wasn't lived as well before. And we all have that opportunity. Okay. Sorry about my little digs. It's just sometimes a little bit challenging living in California. We're jealous of people who live in Missouri and have things a little bit more open than we do over here. And maybe some other places where people are a little more, I don't know, a little more nonchalant about things. I don't know. But anyway, that's my flaw, folks. I just believe in personal responsibility and your ability to choose and make amazing decisions for your life because you're brilliant. Anyway, sorry if I lost any viewers because of that. My apologies, Lindsay. I don't want to say things that make us lose viewers. So anyway, shutting up.
Sherilyn says, thanks for what you do, Paul and Lindsay. Yeah, we're just stoked to have you guys think through this process of not continuing on a path that was not creating success. I know that I spent way too many years of my life not having a clear path or a clear journey or being really focused on or even knowing anyone that actually had a real clear solution in order to make money online. I felt like there was a lot of people that were saying they were doing it and not really doing it. And so that's one of the reasons Paul and I have really invested in this program, is because we want to give back. We want to give you guys an opportunity to cut the time of the years and hundreds of thousands of dollars that we've spent and invested in our education in the online marketplace to really help you guys cut the fluff and do it quickly. So yeah, we're excited to give you guys the opportunity. And like Paul said, we're really only going to keep it open for another week. So if you've been on the fence about thinking about whether or not you wanted to make 2020 successful in some way, now is probably your last chance for the end of the year. So, and definitely within 2 months, you can have a good, full, flourishing online practice if you put your mind to it and actually start getting to work. So we want to give you guys that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm about to, and what's going to be really cool is there's somebody very close to me that's going to start a coaching practice literally in the next month. And I can pretty much guarantee she's going to make 6 figures in their first year. And it's going to be a great test case because it's going to be a very specific niche that I haven't actually seen anybody doing much coaching in. And as that starts happening, because I know she is going to crush it on so many levels, that'll be in one of those cool case scenarios that I'll get to share with everyone, because I'll be behind the scenes getting to watch some of those things happen. And I don't always get to see these kinds of things, but I know what this year is getting ready to bring. And I know that there's only a fraction of the people. You guys can pick any market right now, and they're all underserved. There's just not enough help, and there's not enough coaches out there. So let's just make this thing happen. Quit procrastinating. Quit living in fear. Quit questioning yourself. You can absolutely do this. You have enough. You've got it all together enough to make this stuff happen. Lindsay, any closing words you want to say to anyone?
Stoked for you guys. I'm excited for this to be, don't let it be another holiday season where you're hoping and wishing. I don't know if you've had those, if you guys have. I have, where I was hoping and wishing that I was building and creating something. And so fourth quarter is literally the best time in online business. This is the best time I've ever seen it in online business. And I know that seems crazy with the world feeling like it's shut down. Don't let that narrative be the truth for you, because it isn't for us. We've had literally the best year of everything. Our agency, our course sales business, our coaching practice, everything has been literally the best I've ever had in 10, 12 years of doing just coaching.
Yeah.
So don't let any of that be an excuse. Now is literally the perfect time to get your practice started.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, cool. Thanks for all the happy birthdays. I appreciate that. My favorite gift was that my kids, they got together with my wife and they made me this card, and they wrote the 46 things that I appreciate about you the most. And if you guys have ever seen the 5 love languages, you could pick out the love language of each one of my kids in each little thing that they wrote in there. But that was my favorite thing that I got this entire weekend. I'm a words of affirmation kind of person. And so those kinds of things, I don't want stuff. I don't need stuff. I am taking a little trip that's kind of, that I can kind of say is for my birthday or whatever, but kind of not. But honestly, I didn't really want anything, but that was like the most meaningful thing that I got. And I had all my daughters together. It was it was a fun weekend. So I appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to the best year ever. October, even for me every year, is a year that I think about what I want out of my life for
Yeah.
next year. And hopefully you guys all have that moment where you're taking, and this year has been a good one for us to step outside of ourselves and say, hey, here's what's not working, and here's what I want different for next year. And October was a whole month of that, because it's kind of like, and I'd say I'm not through. There's some other things that I'm thinking about even in my life right now, some other business ventures, and some even creative ideas that involve some of you as far as that stuff is concerned. So I want you to know, I always appreciate the happy birthdays, all the support, you guys being a part of our lives. I know I speak for Lindsay as well. You guys mean the world to us. Thank you for allowing us opportunity to be able to speak into your life and invest in your future and what you want. So we appreciate you a ton.
Yeah. Awesome. You'll have a good rest of your week, and we'll probably be back again later this week talking about some more good online business jazz. Bill.
Awesome. Oh, I see a question on here really quick. Somebody was talking about role plays. Yeah, there's actually role plays inside of the online community. So if you're part of Jumpstart and you get inside the online community, you can actually role play with people who are in there. You just say, hey, does anybody want to role play? We actually have an instant feedback tool that helps you be graded properly based on the core competencies, not just, hey, you did a good job, but actually gives you the material so that you can actually be properly graded and you know what you need to work on. So cool. All right. That was the last question that we slipped in. You guys have a great rest of your week and take care.